All right, we're back and sound's going, so great. Welcome. It's Aluminum Tarot. We're going to be reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this month of March. Readings are a little bit late, but this is basically what you can expect, so bear with me. Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about what's taking place in Sagittarius' life. We'll see what's going on. I do not normally do love readings, or sometimes I'll do career readings, but I just basically read what the cards show me at this point. So we'll just go ahead and talk you through it and go from there. Order of the day is, as always, if you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell so that you don't miss updates from future postings. And additionally, feel free to leave a financial contribution at the PayPal link in the description box below. And that said, we're going to go straight on to it. So we now talk a little bit about what's taking place for Sagittarius. And this is after a very strange period. I think we did have an eclipse that took place. We're now slowly moving our way into Aries season as well. So we're getting rid of the dross of the last few vestiges of the astrological year for last year. So Aries typically denotes when we're going to go back into the springtime, you know, the resurgence of the new year. And we get the chance to have a fresh start with everything taking place in our lives. We're also in the year of the horse, which I think took place on February 17th. And now we have a new start. We've moved away from the year of the snake, which has been an absolute bell end of a year, which no one, as far as I know, had a lot of positive experiences, save for, you know, other things that were coming into their life after they had shed their old skin. So that said, speaking of which, you're now thinking about what's taking place in your life with this Seven of Pentacles. Now, with the Seven of Pentacles, we normally speak about things that we're analyzing, we're interpreting, we're trying to see if it's worth the investment. After receiving the Six of Pentacles, it's like, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to take this and invest it so that I can do something else? Moving from the 7 to the 8 of Pentacles, or we're going to go back into the 5 of Pentacles by spending it. So it's all about kind of using your time, value, resources, you know, money and other things responsibly and finding a solid plan as to how you're going to do that. Typically, when you have number sevens, it's also a card of choices. So in the Seven of Cups, you have a person making choices, some which are good and some which are bad. Whereas you have with this Seven of Pentacles, normally the person is thinking responsibly. They're growing the gardens of pentacles that they have accumulated from the past, and they're trying now to determine what to do with it. Is it time to harvest, or is it time to wait a bit more for it to grow? Now, Sagittarius, in your specific cards, you have the challenge is basically yourself in reverse. So it's about, you know, when you think about all the things that have taken place in your life, all the things that you've accumulated, and the experiences that you've undergone. And with this, it's almost like the challenge is finally getting back into balance, back into the flow of things, making sure that you've had your head screwed on properly, and that you are no longer in a state of not disrepair, but unease, malady, things like that. You know, you may have gone through a rocky patch, a bit of a rough period with other things, and now you're just trying to make sure whether or not you have the patience to see those things through, and additionally to grow the things into your life that are going to matter 5-10 years down the road, because it's a long-term investment with those pentacles. It's not simply just like a Two of Wands where you're just like, what am I going to have for breakfast, or which movie would I like to watch on YouTube, or any of those types of small minor things. I think that Seven of Pentacles is a more mature and responsible type of energy where you have to invest that properly. Now, in the recent past, you had the Five of Swords. Normally, this is about, again, that period of strife that I told you about, not Sprite. I don't drink Sprite, but when you have the Five of Swords, this is a time where someone or some group of people have treated you with utter contempt and disregard, and now you're essentially moving away from that period of defeat, or maybe you had to fight really hard to get what it is that you wanted, and you had to do so at whatever the cost, because maybe the stakes were a bit high for you at the time. I can clarify a little bit to see exactly what that was about. What was the Five of Swords about? Getting a lot of swords energy. So to clarify the Five of Swords, you have the Four of Swords in the reverse. You have the Two of Swords. So you were basically in a period of waiting and stalemate and not really sure what kind of decision you wanted to make. And you had to basically fight through, how would you say, purgatory. When you're in a mental purgatory, a mental prison, it can feel like time is just slipping away from you. I don't know why I'm getting the Commodore's, fly like an eagle. Time keeps on slipping into the future, like that, It's telling me that you don't want to waste any more time, and I'm assuming that that's the reason why you have this Temperance in the reverse as well. It's like, when is the right time to strike for this new situation to unfold and to take place? In the near future, you have the Five of Pentacles. Now, I don't see that as a financial thing or a money thing. I do see it as you kind of feeling like you're willing to brace or embrace the cold, the harsh, the severity of getting out there and doing what it is that you need to do, irrespective of whether or not those resources that you need are there. Because remember, I said you have the Seven of Pentacles. That can determine whether or not you go to the five, if you go to the, so when you have the Six of Pentacles, you can go to the Seven of Pentacles and then invest that into the Eight of Pentacles using the resources that you've got available. Or you can go back into the Six of Pentacles, get more. And I think I need to correct myself on that. Five of Pentacles comes before the Six of Pentacles. So it's all about a delicate balance of your finances, your worth, your sense of self-worth even, as to how it's going to progress and whether or not you put some kinetic energy into it to make sure that you're building upon it to get to the Ten of Pentacles, or if you're going to slide back into the Five of Pentacles and feel half of what you should be. Now, to clarify these two, you have the Ace of Cups and the Judgment card. I'm thinking in my mind about what this means when it comes to the Five of Pentacles. Something or someone that you really loved, there was kind of a sense of divine intervention where there was a period in your life where you had to learn how to love yourself. And since you got into that energy, you essentially needed to go and face the cruelty of the world, irregardless of whether or not there was a relationship present, whether there was a job present at that time, whether those material resources, your externalities that, typically people will focus on to make themselves feel good or validated about their self-worth. You didn't have that, and you may be going back into a period where, the way I see this, since this is a cup card, it may be like, say for instance, you're in the dating scene, it's really fucking difficult to find someone. So you're like, I'm going to just embrace this and just go it alone. I'm going to go straight into the future and just not worry about whether or not this thing that I want or that I need is present. If there are no relationships in my life, then so be it. I'm going to just live the best life I can. If there's a little bit of financial burden, or if there's something that's not really emotionally fulfilling and it's not there, I'm just going to make the judgment call on that and just choose to be happy by myself. That Ace of Cups normally is this self-love card, as opposed to the Two of Cups is when you actually share that sense of self-worth with someone else and form a relationship or try to communicate with the person on an emotional level rather than an intellectual level. So, that said, the final outcome of what I see taking place for March is the Six of Wands in the reverse. I don't see that as a bad thing, because what's clarifying it is this: the Sun and the Eight of Cups. So, clarifying that even further was the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is in reverse. So when you have this, what you're essentially doing is it's becoming clear And also with the Seven of Cups in the reverse, that's also clarity, lifting the fog, lifting the veil, that you need to move away from something anyway. So that's probably why you're in that Five of Pentacles. Your material world is like, okay, fuck this, I'm out, I'm tapping out. And then the Eight of Cups is the emotional thing that you're trying to look for. You're going to your Nine of Cups. Now, interestingly enough, and I should backtrack a little bit on this, when you have what's at the core of your, your inner sanctum, you have the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is in the upright, Ten of Pentacles is in the reverse. The Ten of Pentacles is the legacy, the family life. Because that is not present, you are choosing to focus on your work and the things that give you kind of material abundance, because the abundance in the family life is not quite there. It's like, it's not manifesting in the material, having the wife and the kids and the picket fence and all of this stuff. So you're like, no, what? Fuck it. I'm going to do this on my own. Let's just make some coin, stack it, and just get out. And the reason why is because what you know in the conscious realm, Three of Swords in the reverse, and you had the Nine of Pentacles, you had the Nine of Cups, but it was on its side. So that means that you're in the process of transitioning away from the heartache. You're getting out of the heartache and you're trying to get into that Nine of Cups energy. And it may feel like, I'm getting Tool's 46 and 2, if anyone's a Tool fan around here. It's one of my favorite songs from them. He says, shadows shedding skin, I've been picking my scabs again. And it feels like in your emotional realm, you have been picking at the same scab, which has been the heartache that you've had to experience over and over again, whether or not it was self-inflicted or whether or not it was the same entity coming into your life to make that wound fresh again. And it's very difficult to go through the healing process if you have to keep facing those same challenges over and over again. It can also be a little bit like a negative reinforcement. It's like, okay, well, if this is the way that life is, then fuck love. I don't want it. Or maybe if it's going to be difficult to find this group of friends or to sell this house or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, it can say to yourself, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do something completely different. Throwing the baby out with the bathwater and just making a go at something completely new. And with that Six of Wands in the reverse, it's almost like you just kind of want to take yourself out the spotlight. You don't want to be a part of anyone else's shit. You don't want to be in anyone's audience. You don't want to entertain anyone's audience. You just want to be yourself and go back. I can even clarify that. Clarify these Six of Wands in the reverse. Yeah. You want to just hold back and do your own thing. Hold back. You don't want to share anything with anyone. It's just like, I just want to be in peace. I want to be left alone. I don't want to be bothered with people. In the past, I had this Five of Swords. I was dealing with a lot of difficult relationship issues, situations, challenges, strife. And it can be in any realm. It can be either in your romantic, sphere, or it can be in your work sphere, your friendships, any of that, family life. However it manifested in your world, you have essentially gone into the Five of Cups, where it's just like, I would rather be a scapegoat in the land of Nod right now than to put up with this bullshit. And that's probably the best path for you to take, The good thing about scapegoats is that they're still very hardy, sturdy creatures. They're able to survive in the wilderness of the desert and make their way without suffering too much. Now, what do we have here? Moonology card. This is your oracle card. It says here, a new romantic cycle begins. I'm not sure exactly why that came out, but if this is love related, which I believe it is, because you have the Ace of Cups and then you have the Judgment card. When you have a new romantic cycle begins, it could be that the fact that you're finally, what it is, it's not like you need to leave someone, like an ex from past come back, they love you, but don't want to say it, but they want to spy on you on internet and Instagram bullshit that gets preached around in the the internet so much, which is one reason why I'm going to force myself to stop watching tarot readings online. I notice that in this particular reading, what it is that you're leaving behind is a cycle of desiring to enter a partnership with people. The reason why I say that is because this Nine of Cups is on its side, trying to get upright, and you get into your own energy. So that way you no longer have to worry about heartache. I'm good on my own. Fuck everyone else. I'll call you when I need a relationship. That's basically it. You're no longer worrying about building something with someone else. You just kind of want to do it on your own. And that's a fierce independence that Sagittarius is, normally famous for. So in doing so, you grant yourself a little bit more autonomy. There's less stress to deal with, and you have the freedom to do what it is that you want to do in your life without having to worry about whether or not a person validates your feelings or emotions, or, what a lot of people do in the dating scene these days, which is basically seek a source of supply rather than having that sense of inner stability and internal validation within, knowing that you're enough, knowing that you're good enough. Instead of allowing other people to control that narrative, you're going to control the narrative yourself. And so that's what this is telling me. So, brilliant. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My throat's going a little bit dry right now. But that has been the reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising for the month of March 2026. If you like what you see here, please, again, be sure to like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell, and don't forget to thumbs up. I don't know if people hype these things. I'm just here. I'm just here on the internet, shouting into the void. Thank you so much. Until next time, love and light. Bye now.